esteemed viewers, good day, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from. This is the Confab on Esteemed Radio Vision. We are located at Obokuna Avenue in Elisha, Ocean State, Nigeria. This is the Confab once again, where we go beyond the headlines to interrogate the issues shaping our country and our future. Today, Nigeria once again finds itself at the crossroads of security, justice, and public policy. As thousands of young Nigerians report to NYC orientation camps, anxiety hangs in the air, especially in states battling banditry, terrorism, and mass abductions. Families are asking hard questions. Is national service still a rite of passage, or has it become a gamble with young lives? At the same time, a detained separatist leader, Nnamdi Kanu, is being honored thousands of miles away in the United States, conferred with honorary citizenship by the state of Georgia, while he remains behind bars in Nigeria. The international spotlight on his case grows brighter, raising uncomfortable questions about justice, about diplomacy, about how the world sees our democracy. And back at home, NAFDAC is holding its ground on the ban of sachet alcohol, insisting public health must come before profits. Manufacturers are protesting already. Workers are worried and Nigerians are divided. Is this bold leadership or policy without compassion? These are not just news stories, they are mirrors reflecting the choices we make as a nation. So stay with us on the Confab. Once again, this is the Confab and the conversation starts now. I am Abel, and I have my analyst in the studio in the person of Ohunayo, Ajiboye. Welcome this morning, Ohunayo.
Good morning, Chidima.
How are you doing?
It's the weekend. Of course, I'm happy.
Yes, it's the weekend. Actually, this is afternoon, but then it doesn't really matter because I know there are those watching us from countries where we are still in the morning or perhaps in the evening, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's start with the very first story we have here. We have insecurity. Anxiety as NYC camps open in high-risk states like the northern states. Now, thousands of prospective corps members and their families are apprehensive as the 2026 Batch A Stream 1 orientation exercise of the National Youth Service commences across the country, particularly in states plagued by bandits, attacks, kidnappings, and bomb scares. From Zamfara to Kaduna, Borno, Yobe, Plateau, and Katsina State, corps members embarking on the 21-day orientation face long and fearful journeys, even as officials insist that all measures are in place to ensure their safety. This is actually where we are going to.
Yeah.
All measures are in place to ensure their safety.
What measures?
Is this strong enough for someone, for a corps member, to back on?
Well, first of all, Nigerians no longer have a collective, unifying ideal to rally around again. Because in this situation, in the past, you see, the SUG would have launched a protest that youth corps camps in high-risk areas be shut down, and nobody should be posted there. SUG would have launched protest. In fact, the whole nation would have been on shutdown, but now everyone is afraid.
Yes, because when you
because
see
now
the
we have a government that clamps down on protest. See what happened in Edo State. Now we have a government that clamps down on protest because the truth of the matter is there's no assurance that they will not be in danger. I mean, recently, was it not last year that it trended on the NYC ad book where it was written that when corps members are traveling to high-risk area, they should carry along money that can be used to pay ransom just in case they get kidnapped. Okay. Though the NYC DG has come out to deny that and everything, but the thing went viral, on all social media platforms.
Although it was a rumor,
it was denied.
It was debunked.
It was denied. It was not debunked. It was denied. There's a difference between denying and debunking. It was denied, but there's no evidence that it was not in the handbook because many coppers came out to say they saw this in their handbook and that it was later removed from the handbook.
Oh.
So it was denied. And now we have a situation where we actually had a youth copper that was kidnapped last year, begging for her life. The video was going viral. She kept begging for her life, and the government could not do anything to save her until ransom was paid and this copper was released. Now, are you going to tell me that that kind of person will have the heart to say she wants to continue serving the nation after that kind of trauma and experience? So there's no assurance. The government is saying they can assure that everywhere is safe. No, nowhere is safe. There's a reason why we call something high risk. It's an high risk area. Coppers should not be posted there for any reason, and camps should not even hold in that kind of place. High risk areas for insecurity, that camps can be targeted by terrorists. Forget about the fact that they say soldiers are protecting. Is it not in the same Nigeria that barracks, army barracks, was attacked? And not only did these insurgents and bandits attack them successfully, they even stole arms and ammunition from our soldiers. So if they can attack army barracks, if they can attack the armory of the army itself, what is NYSC camp that they cannot attack? So this is not about assuring the people. It's about putting measures in place, and the measures that should be put in place is that such camps should be shut down. There are other states in the country that these coppers can be sent to. I even like the proposal now that since the situation of the country now is such that security has become a big issue, until the insecurity is solved, let everybody serve in their state of origin or state of residence.
In their state of origin?
Or state of residence.
Okay.
Because some people, their state of origin might not be their state of residence, and the distance might put them at risk of being... They can serve in their state of residence. Yes, the initial purpose of NYSC was to foster unity across the country.
Exactly.
But right now, we cannot, because of unity, start risking the lives of the future leaders and the potential, the potential human resource that will bring this country to greater heights. We cannot keep risking their life in the name of unity.
Are you saying that Nigeria as a whole, as a country, doesn't have the power, what it takes, the security power to, protect the NYSC members?
Well, they've not been doing a good job of it so far. So, what are we talking about?
But they have assured them.
They have assured them, but the evidence is speaking otherwise.
What evidence?
The couple that was kidnapped, for God's sake. What about the coppers that died in the road accidents? Our roads are not nothing to even write home about.
We are not talking about
it's part of the high risk.
It's
part of the high risk we are talking about. It's part of the risks.
Remember, these corps members did not reject those areas because of bad roads, but
the long distances and everything. No, it's still part of what we're talking about. The bad roads are part of the insecurity. If the roads were good, if these people found themselves in danger, they could have driven away. But you discover that where these bandits and kidnappers operate mostly is where the roads are bad, where the vehicles and transport vehicles, private vehicles, have no choice but to slow down and, cause a traffic jam for long hours. That's how they operate. If the road was smooth and everybody is moving fast, it's an express road, do you think anybody wants to stand in the middle of the road? Even if you have a gun, they will clear you off the road. So it's part of it's contributing the ineffectiveness of the governance to actually govern the right way. It's contributing to the issues we are talking about.
Okay, now you say who should be held responsible in a situation like this? Is it the body governing NYSC, SUG, the federal government? Who should we blame in this situation? Because you did mention that if it were before days back, that the SUG would have protested against this. So in this situation now, who are we going to blame?
So in this situation, I'm blaming the government, because the solution is actually so clear. Fix the insecurity, and if the insecurity is proven to be a tough challenge that cannot be fixed easily, then we're not saying scrap NYSC, but shut down the high risk states. It's even high risk for the citizens of the state itself. The people in the state, in those regions, they rarely come out. They are in danger themselves, and then you're sending someone else's child, someone else's daughters and sons to go and face that danger the more. While your own children, we will not see them in camp. We will just hear news that they graduated from one big university abroad and they have served. Just like that. Come on. Okay. It doesn't work that way. It's not fair. It's both unfair, it's both unequal, and it shouldn't be. Shut down the camps where these states have been noted, flagged as high risk. You can continue with the states that are safe. Or at best, let's turn everything around, and for the time being, until insecurity is solved, let youth corpers, let PCMs, prospective corps members, serve in their state of origin or their state of residence. It's that simple. Nobody will be in danger. Nobody will have to, traverse long distance and put themselves in all kinds of danger. That's how it should be.
Okay, now I believe there was a time the federal government wanted to scrap this NYSC, and it really came with mixed reactions from the general populace. Some people were like, "No, no, no, don't scrap it," and others were like,
I can assure you,
Yeah.
it didn't
So
come. The misreactions didn't come from the populace. It came from the government workers themselves. It came from all those who are benefiting from the scheme, among which no core member is actually benefiting from the scheme. It came from those that have lobbied
you said the
to
core
operate.
members are not benefiting from the
They are
scheme.
not benefiting from the scheme, and that's part of the things we are talking about. Like you have somebody whose job is to provide food for the core member, and then you want to scrap NYSC. It was touching a lot of interests, and actually, yes, it's not that it's wrong. That is touching people's interests. That's some people, their means of living can only be found through NYSC camp. The women that operate the Mami market, the person that collects the contract to feed the coppers, the tailors who get contracts and
Skill
jobs,
acquisition.
skill acquisitions, the teachers for skill acquisition. So it's a big enterprise. So we're not saying scrap it, because we understand that it's providing employment and the means of livelihood for a lot of Nigerians too.
But many people
But
will
what we are
disagree with
saying,
you on
what we
this.
are saying is that the National Youth Service Corps, the service itself, should not put our core members at risk.
Okay, yes, I got that. But then you will agree with me that many people would disagree with you on this. When you said NYSC, do not, I mean, NYSC, how would they call them? The students do not agree, do not benefit from NYSC scheme. They are earning above 70,000 naira every month. I mean, on monthly basis.
Okay.
And now you've just talked about the skill acquisition. Many people actually acquired skills while they were serving in Nigeria. And they are doing well with the skill, apart from their certificate. So, in fact, I know some of these core members who dropped their certificate and they are actually doing well in life due to the skills they acquired while they were serving in Nigeria. So what would you say that the NYSC scheme does not benefit the NYSC members?
Okay. So I think you have misunderstood me.
Okay, please.
When I was talking about the Nigerians who depend on it for their means of livelihood. Look, if you ask any Nigerian graduates now about service, a lot of them consider it a waste of their time, because many of them already have the skills acquired, even in universities and everything.
Okay.
A lot of them are starting to make money outside of school. And I'm not talking about illegally, I'm talking about legal jobs, remote jobs, virtual assistants, and so many. So them even going to service is an hindrance to them. But we are not saying that because of that scrap NYSC. We are saying make it safe for the prospective core members.
Okay.
For example, don't send them to high-risk states. It's that simple. And I don't know why the government refuses to hear that. It's too simple. Thank you.
Okay, in all sincerity, I really want you to comment on this. Do you think that the purpose for which NYSC was established is really serving in Nigeria? It's been fulfilled in Nigeria?
Right now, there might as well not. Actually, there's no purpose, because we saw in 2023
There's no purpose.
elections. No, listen. We saw in the 2023 election how easy it is to fan the flames of bigotry, especially against the Igbos. We saw how easy it was. All they had to do was shout, "Lagos is no man's land, my Lagos not your Lagos," and all other forms of nonsense online, and then the flames of bigotry were fanned. We saw that. So what's the essence of where's the unity that NYSC has been promoting? And those are the things we are talking about, that when something, I'm not saying that NYC didn't do its job. I'm saying that it didn't do it as well as we thought. So we can no longer use that as an excuse, because the truth is, as long as anybody wants to use bigotry as a political tool, they find it very easy in Nigeria. And I chalk that up to the ignorance of the people being used to do such things, and that, yeah, we can educate them, but how do you educate an hungry man? How do you educate someone who has refused to learn, to unlearn what they learned before and relearn something new? Nigerians are resilient. Nigerians are stubborn. It's a good quality, but it's also a bad quality, if you know what I mean. The resilience and stubbornness shows in their capability to refuse to unlearn. And one of the biggest signs of intelligence is the ability to actually unlearn and relearn. But Nigerians will learn something and they stick with it forever. Even when they discover that it's wrong, they will stick with it forever. So the NYC has not really fostered unity in recent times. So that should no longer be an excuse. Now we should focus on the fact that NYSC as a scheme is responsible for some of the school acquisition. Those are the advantages now. Those are the advantages. They are good advantages. They are welcome innovations, and there are more that NYSC can do. But now, outside of the advantages, what we are saying is, if this scheme is posing risk to the life of our future leaders, and you don't want to scrap it, we don't want it to be scrapped. It provides them a source of income and means of livelihood, training, and so many other things, and some gain life experiences and so many other things. But if the process is going to be putting their lives at risk, then something should be done about it. If you can't eliminate the risk, by ending insecurity, then eliminate the risk by shutting down the high-risk areas. Thank you very much.
Okay, that being said, I now want to ask you, what other ways can be done, what other things can be done to improve NYSC so that its strengths can outweigh its weaknesses?
All right, another thing that can be done with the NYSC, like I said before, Chidima, this is not fair. This is not fair. You're making me give advice to the government without being paid for it. But don't worry, I'll do them a favor because it's weekend and I'm happy, as I said before. Another one of the things I feel the government should do, and they've been doing so nice. Me, you know me, I will give honor to whom honor is due. Even if I don't like the guy in power, I will give honor to whom honor is due. Even from Buhari days, they've been doing it. It's been a thing. For example, they've been helping coppers who want to go into SMEs. But the thing is, there's not much transparency regarding it. Sometimes people get the information too late. For example, when I was serving and I finished service, I got that information when I was done with service. A friend of mine got that information just a week before we did our POP, so he was able to actually key into that thing. And you know, he went into industrial farming and he's doing well today. He's doing well today. He got that information last minute, but he was able to. But by the time I got that information, it was too late. I could no longer apply again. I was no longer a copper. I was no longer eligible. And then I wondered how many Nigerians who had the mind of investing and standing alone, you know, to become employers of labor have missed such opportunities. So I would like the government to be more transparent and to keep those kind of schemes up. Now, that is one. Talking about getting our graduates ready for the labor market, you know, where a lot of employers come and they say Nigerians are not employable and blah, 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 blah. You know, Said is all about entrepreneurship, it's all about handwork, it's all about this. I believe the government can also, you know, help our coppers get corporate experience too. There are those that don't want to learn handwork. There are those that are not interested in being a seamstress, a fashion designer, they want the corporate life. So the government can partner with some of the big four, KPMG, you know, Dangote, partner with them, let them get core members to learn corporate this thing. So they gain experience while serving, and the experience must be valid. In fact, the experience will be used as a criteria for employment. No more entry-level roles demanding 4 years or 5 years experience. It will just be, they will demand for your NYSC certificate because you have gained valid experience. This is another thing I feel can improve the NYSC. And this is an advice worth millions to the government. I don't know, maybe I should paste my account number so that they can bless my account, you know.
All right, thank you, Ajiboye. If you're just joining us, this is a Confab on Esteem Radio Vision. Do well to leave a comment for us in the comment section, like and share. Then we are moving to the very next headline here that says, Nnamdi Kanu conferred honorary Georgia citizenship, named Goodwill Ambassador. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has been conferred with honorary citizenship of the state of Georgia, United States of America. Kanu was also adopted as an outstanding citizen to be accorded every courtesy as a Goodwill Ambassador from Georgia. I want to ask, what's your thought on this, Ajiboye?
Well, I don't know why Georgia did that, but from what I know about the Nnamdi Kanu case, as I followed it, it's a case of two wrongs don't make a right.
Okay, two wrongs don't make a right. Two
wrongs don't make a right. The Nigerian government was wrong. Nnamdi Kanu's approach was right at the beginning, but then it detoured. The moment the moment it derailed and they took that detour, then it became a wrong too. Now you brought two wrongs together. The truth now is that the wrong that has the more power, which is the government in this case, will win the fight. And that was what happened with Nnamdi Kanu, which is a sad thing because I believe he was a visionary. He's a visionary. I actually read his writings. I listened to his speech. He has a point. Unfortunately, like I said at the beginning, two wrongs don't make it right. Now for, Georgia to make him a goodwill ambassador and everything shows that they recognize him. They recognize some of the things he has done in Georgia, and they are honoring him for that. In spite of what is going on in Nigeria, he has been sentenced to life imprisonment, which is another slap on the face of our judicial system because I don't know. This is someone who has been found not guilty at the time and the federal government was ordered to leave him, but they kept him in custody until they could find a judgment that favored them, which is wrong. That's not how the law is supposed to work. And it's part of the anyhowness in Nigeria. But what has happened, and I believe that this is a step towards Georgia and some activists and support to lobby for him to be released, so that he will no longer be a political prisoner. Because if you look at it now, he is becoming almost popular as a political prisoner, because we all know that the issue with Nnamdi Kanu's case, like I said before, two wrongs don't make it right. It's all the geopolitical issues going on in Nigeria. That's the underlying conflict of everything. So now what we are seeing is Georgia stepping in. That's a foreign influence intervening, and that means that there might be a shift in what we thought. There could be an appeal, there could be a pardon along the line.
I was about to ask, even with foreign intervention, do you think Nnamdi Kanu will likely, win the case somehow in a...
Never say never. Anything can happen. That's what I'll say. Anything can happen. Never say never. If the government is willing to compromise and they admit that they were also wrong in certain aspects, that's the best thing. If the government can admit that they are wrong, though I've never seen Nigerian governments admit they are wrong, though everyone knows two wrongs don't make it right. But the Nigerian government will not admit that they are wrong. But I'm sure that with the interference and the negotiations and the lobbying and especially I'm sure that there will be a positive outcome.
Okay, so now what's your advice to Nnamdi Kanu if you were to advise him one-on-one now?
If I was to advise him, well, I would advise him to, for now, keep his cards close to his chest.
His cards close to his chest. Nnamdi Kanu may not understand that. Can you elaborate?
He will understand better. He will understand better.
By keeping his cards to his chest?
Nnamdi Kanu's goal is to liberate the southeast, Biafra as it terms it.
Okay.
We just have Swahililand, or what's the name of the country that just got their independence? A state that got independence from Somaliland. We just got Somaliland that got their independence, now recognized as the 54th or 55th African country. So Biafra can be the 56th, but the strategy, the plan, whatever step he wants to take when he is out of prison, if he gets out of prison, should be kept close to his chest. He should be careful who he trusts, and he should be careful of his circle around him. And another thing is, in the words of the most popular rascally musician right now, Portable, after God in our government, he should be careful not to provoke Nigerian government, because in Nigeria, sometimes government has no respect for the rule of laws. That's how it is.
Okay, now you have dropped that one for Nnamdi Kanu. Now, if you were to talk to the federal government with respect to this, how would you, present this case to them?
I'll ask the federal government to try as much as possible to always dispense true justice. The truth is, in Nigeria, the dispensation of justice does not focus on facts. It focuses on emotions. It's focused on, you disrespected the government, and so we're going to deal with you. Because when I saw that judgment where he was sentenced to life imprisonment, it didn't make sense. It really didn't. It felt more like a vindictive judgment to me. Now, for the record, I'm stating my opinion, what it felt like to me. That it didn't make sense, and it felt vindictive to me. It felt vindictive because how dare you stand against the government and things. And that's why I said in Nigeria, sometimes the quest for justice is more emotional than rational. Sometimes they ignore the facts and just base it on emotions, which is it's not supposed to be so. It's not supposed to be so. And so, the government should stop being emotional about judgments about taking certain steps, and they should focus more on the rationality of the law.
All right, thank you so much, Ohunayo Ajiboye. Because of our time, we just go to the very next story here that says, sachet alcohol ban stands until law changes. NAFDAC insists.
I don't
Sachet
think my
ban.
dear Nigerians will like that. when I say
Honestly,
my dear Nigerians, you know
when
the
I
ones
saw
I'm
the
talking
headline,
about.
I was taken aback because I know that some people were even asking,
Like,
why
is there
not
a
take
ban?
down everything? I
Oh,
mean,
that
ban
one.
everything altogether, not just the sachet, including the bottle, the rest.
No, you can't ban, you can't
No, no,
ban
no. I mean,
alcohol.
you
It's a
know,
product.
a lot of people now are coming from religious angle, some from
Yes.
other angles. So I'm just saying that some Nigerians, like this kind of headline, is bound to, be faced with
Cause a lot of
controversies.
controversy.
Yes. So
Yes.
some people said, they should have just taken down everything, including the bottle, the plastic ones. They should just ban
That is
everything.
true.
And that's for those who are coming from the religious angle. Why some more people are saying why? Why should they even take it up, take it out when they know there are poor people, there are younger generations that can afford only this sachet. You understand? So this has really, it was met with mixed reactions from different people.
I
Now,
understand
how
that.
do you see this? Let's just talk about this headline now.
Well,
How do you see the ban
one of
on
the
the
underlying
sachet?
reasons for the ban on sachet alcohol is that many of them do not have the right NAFDAC registration. Some of them even they forge NAFDAC registration, and the ones with NAFDAC registrations, due to carelessness or whatever, you find that a lot of the ones on the streets are not even the real products. They are not the real product. And so NAFDAC is saying, if you can't protect your product, if you can't let people know which one is real and which one is fake, we are going to ban all of it together, because that is what is going on now. That's what the situation is.
Is. Okay,
It is what the
you know the
situation is.
protesters, they said something. When they protest, they carry these placards to express their grievances.
Yeah.
So the protesters, when they arrived in white buses carrying placards urging the agency to reconsider its position, they argued that the ban could lead to job losses and economic hardship. That was their, that was what they were saying. But then, do you really think they are being sincere this time around? That it's about job losses and economic hardship?
I believe that the ban on its own is not a blanket ban. It's not a blanket ban. The ban is on those ones that are unregistered, that refuse to reveal their ingredients, and the ones that make scientifically impossible to verify claims. You have some of these so-called sachet alcohols and everything, and it will be telling you to improve your manpower, to do this, to do that. We are here, and they give it one kind of name, or guy at the top, or whatever. And you see men buying this because they want performance enhancement, or they want to feel strong. They want to feel, whereas the ingredients are not known. These people have no NAFDAC registration. There's no standardization to it, to the dosage. You don't even know what you're drinking. And from medical research, they are discovering that a lot of these things are causing a lot of problems, mostly in men that take it, and the women that take it. For example, liver damage, kidney damage, organ damage. And that's why the ban is essential. Now, if you are the one working in such a place, responsible for this kind of things, your conscience should judge you. That's not a job loss. They say prevention is better than cure. It's better to prevent than to start looking for the cure for liver disease and kidney disease later in the nearest future, after you have consumed such. The ban is not on alcohol, like I said. Regulated, standardized alcohol is not banned. You can buy those if you love alcohol. But the ban is on this illegally produced alcohol sachets and bottles that you don't even know where they get them from, and they just mix it together and they give it one kind of name, and then they put some unverifiable claims. That's the thing.
When NAFDAC was reacting to the protesters, they said children are not small adults, that their psychological systems cannot handle alcohol, and early exposure significantly increases the risk of disease, addiction, and social harm. They said that was why they cannot compromise an enforcement. You understand? So at this point, looking at what they said, NAFDAC now, they said children are not small adults. Do you think children will not be able to buy those ones in bottles. I mean, a child who is really willing to buy, because
alcohol.
children can go, I mean, go
Well,
their way,
there's
saving money, their transport fare
Chidima.
given to them to school. They can
Chidima.
actually save this money to the price of,
True.
you understand. So
That's
do you think
true.
this banning of the such a one could actually forestall that?
So I'm going to come in from this angle. Now, where there's will, there's way. Someone that wants to do something, by all means, will find a way, no matter the blockade.
Yes.
But the ban will discourage a lot.
Okay.
It will discourage a lot. And through the banning and enforcement of the ban, even the ones that are trying to find a way, by the time there are consequences to those that are selling, and this is the problem, most of the people that sell this sachet alcohol, they make it easily accessible to children. I've seen situations where children, a small child cannot go to the bar and ask for alcohol at the bar. They will not sell.
Sure.
But the people that sell this, they usually sell it by the roadside, where children children can come and tell, my daddy said I should buy. I've even seen cases like that. My daddy said I should buy this, and it's the child that was drinking it. And thank God for the adults there, including me. We chastised that child and we followed him home, and we made sure that the parents knew what the child was doing with his pocket money. He just made an allusion that he can do that. Now imagine if it was not accessible. Those are the things we are talking about. So the ban is not a bad thing. And I think that public health should be prioritized over minute economic. Do you know why I call it minute? Because the economic survival there is all about cutting corners. You can actually produce these alcohol drinks, the sachet drinks, and standardize it according to the rules, and follow the regulations concerning the sale, the production and the sale of this alcohol, and you have nothing to fear. But they are not willing to spend that extra money. They want to get as much profit as possible, and that is why NAFDAC is doing the right thing by banning it. If you're not going to follow the law to the letter, if you're not going to follow the right process, then there's no need for you to sell your product or to even produce in the first place. That is the essence of the ban.
You said if they are not going to follow the rule, it is better they ban it. Now, but do you think that NAFDAC realistically can enforce this ban nationwide, especially in informal markets where regulation is already very weak?
I'll tell you this, even in the informal market, there's regulation and laws. So it's up to NAFDAC to devise the strategy to penetrate the informal market by collaborating with the heads and the leaders and, the people with influence in the informal markets, as you say. They are the ones that will work and tell their traders and that this is what the law says, and if you are caught, these are the consequences. It's all about action, consequences. Action, effects, consequences. If these three things are put in place and enforced, then there's no problem enforcing the ban.
But from this ban, don't you see that a negative trend might spring up? Are we likely to see a rise in illegal or unregulated alcohol production as a direct consequence of this policy?
No, I'm expecting a decrease, actually. Of course, at first there will be a pushback. They will try to do, there's always pushback when this kind of things come up. If NAFDAC sticks to their guns and they follow whatever strategy, I'm sure they have people in charge of strategy on how to enforce, and they make sure that they enforce the ban to the letter. At the end of the day, the pushback will die down, and you will see a decrease in the production and the sales of unregulated alcohol.
You know that no matter what policy, there are still
no, that
people,
doesn't mean that there won't
there are
be,
still people
but at
who
least
will
it will
never
be
adhere
reduced.
to it.
It will be
Yes.
reduced. It will be reduced, and there are those that are addicted to it. Yes, that is true, but the reduction is paramount, because the more it reduces, the less risk to life of Nigerian adults and children, especially the children that can have easy access to it. When the access is no longer easy, there will be a reduction, definitely.
All right, now, this I think this one will be the very last question. Should public health policy override economic impact when thousands of jobs are potentially at stake? Or should there be room for compromise?
The only compromise has been, I think that before the ban came up, NAFDAC has compromised as much as possible. Get yourself registered. Let's know the ingredients. What are you mixing together that you are putting in this thing? It's not just alcohol. There's a lot of things in some of this that is not even the alcohol itself is not really beneficial to human health, but you can't tell someone what to drink or what to eat or what to put in their body. But you can only regulate the production of it. But some don't want to be regulated, they don't want to be standardized, and that's the compromise there. You have to get registered, you must come under regulations, you must be standardized, you must follow the right process. So that if your product causes an health problem, if your product becomes a risk to the health of Nigerians, they know who to hold responsible. That is that's the only compromise that can be accepted. Otherwise, health policy would definitely override economic impact in this situation.
All right, thank you. At this point, this is where we'll be wrapping up the show and the confab. Thank you so much, our dear viewers. We appreciate your loyalty. Thank you for staying with STM Radio Vision. But before we wrap it up, my analyst has a pattern remark to give to you.
Well, thank you very much, esteemed viewers. This is still esteemed Radio Vision at Obokun Avenue, Ilesha in Osun State. We know you've been following the conversation from the beginning, and while, yes, I did not take my usual devil's advocate points today, you, the viewers, can take the devil's advocate in the comment sections. Do you agree or you disagree with the points that have been raised so far? Please visit us in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts and your opinions on the 3 topics discussed. However, before I also go, please follow us on Facebook at esteemed Radio Vision. Follow us on YouTube at Esteem Studios. You can send us an email at esteemradiovision@gmail.com. We really want to hear from you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. At this point, we also want to appreciate our CEO in the person of MDK Michael Adeboye Shaulu, the founder of Eniakbonle Foundation and Esteem Radio Vision, and also to our producer here, Ayomikun. Thank you so much. Till we come your way again, I still remain Chidema Abel. End.
Bye.